This is AI-5HP calling all ham operators. The time is 8 p.m. Central. All regular amateur traffic, please stand by, because you're now listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. We're here every Thursday night on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club frequencies and the University Link repeater system. At this time, let me pause for any emergency or priority traffic. Nothing heard. We will not have any more scheduled pauses for emergency traffic, but we will yield the air to any braking emergency. With that in mind, as we proceed, please leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. I am transmitting tonight from Buda, just south of Austin, Texas, using the 147.320 repeater. For more information regarding the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, the club's repeater system, and how to become a member, please visit n5oak.org. You can also participate in the net using the University Link repeater system. For information about the University Link repeater system, please visit ka5d.com. If you're outside of Austin, we'd love to hear from you too. The way to get in is via Echolink by connecting to KA5D-R or K5TMT-R. You can also reach us via All-Star by connecting to node 51444. If you are listening through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hz. For the University Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4 Hz. For club members, we also have our own very own Thursday Night Net channel on Discord. So swing by and say hi to folks hanging out there during the net. It looks like we've already got Mike K5MWA joining the video net. So y'all go ahead and join in, and don't let Mike be the only one on that channel. My name is Aaron, AI5HP, and I'm your net control for this evening. This is a controlled net. Station should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment time. If you're a new ham or just new to the net, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net is a social net, and we would very much appreciate your participation. We get together every week to share knowledge, ask questions, and hang out. Now, it's very easy to check into this net. In just a bit, I'll ask for short-time check-ins and take down the list of all the stations who wish to participate. Once we have everyone checked in, I'll go down the list one at a time and give you the floor. Later on, we'll do general check-ins. Feel free to ask questions pertaining to ham radio. Tell us something about you've been working on, or just say hi. We just want to hear from you. Now, if you missed the first round of check-ins, don't worry. We'll grab you on subsequent rounds. Please avoid topics of politics, religion, or anything else potentially inflammatory. Keep it nice, clean, and appropriate for all ages. Now it's time for station identification, and I'll be opening the net for short-time check-ins. Please stand by. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. And again, if you're joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, set your tone to 114.8 Hz. Now, if you're using the University Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4 Hz. I'm Aaron, AI5HP, and I'm the net controller for tonight. So for short-time check-ins, it's meant for operators who can't stay the entire net or who are mobile. I will not take general comments for the short-timers. If you're feeling shy or have nothing to say, just specify no traffic when you're checking in. This is just equivalent to signing the guest book. Again, no membership is required, and any licensed operator is welcome to check in. New hams are especially encouraged to check in, so if you're a new ham, we really want to hear from you. Now, if you decide to check in as a short-timer and later you want to rejoin the net, that's okay. Just please specify you're a recheck so I don't double count you in my log. So if you're kind of busy or mobile tonight, you still want to check in, Come with your name and call sign now.
This is Kilo 5, Bravo, Zulu, India, K5BZI, Ray in South Austin.
This is 5MWA, Kilo 5 Mike Whiskey Alpha in Oak Hill.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Canton, South Austin, no traffic.
This is KI5YIA, Marshall in South Austin, no traffic.
Are there any more check-ins? All right, nothing else heard. So for short-time check-ins, I logged 4 people. I logged K5BZI, K5MWA, KI6HQT, and KI5YIA. Let's go to the top of the order. Ray, K5BZI. How you doing, Ray?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for hosting the net tonight. This is K5BZI. Going to be working a little late tonight, so I figured I'd go ahead and check in short time. Still working, but going to step away here a little bit. Figured I'd check in and say hello to everybody. So that's about it. Nothing much else to share. I did receive an order of vacuum tubes that I ordered. Officially, the invoice date was January 20th, and they arrived today from Taiwan, so I'm pretty excited to get those tubes in finally. Other than that, that's about all I got. Hello, everybody. 7-3, and thanks for hosting tonight. We're K5BZI, back to net.
Thanks, Ray. Hey, real quick question. So those vacuum tubes that you ordered, are those you have those a specific use in mind for those, right? Can you talk a little bit about what that is before you have to go?
Yeah, sure. Many of you know that I am very into antique military radios and tube sets in general. But most of the tube sets I work with are not necessarily ham radio gear. I like All American 5 shortwave receivers and military gear. So I ordered a handful of 12 SA7s, which are audio processor tubes, and yeah, they're just good to have extras on stock on hand, and I now have 5, so I'm pretty happy with that. Back to you, K5BZI.
All right, Ray. Yeah, thanks for that explanation. I figured other people might want to know the specifics. And yeah, that sounds great, man. I'm glad, like you said, it's been a while since you'd ordered them, so that's good you have them in. And thank you for checking into the net. And I will move on to the next short-time check-in. Who is Mike, K5MWA. Mike out in Oak Hill, how you doing?
Oh, good of you to run the net tonight. I just wanted to say, doing okay. It's kind of the winding down portion of the spring break week now. Not looking forward to going back to work on Monday, but hey, because I haven't gotten nearly as many projects done this week as I overcommitted myself to do. But hey, I guess I'll just do what I can. Anyway, not doing much. I tidied up some antenna stuff this week just to recheck some things and guy off some things and whatnot, and everything's going okay. And I had to go re-up the registration on my old truck, and so in the meantime, I finally, it's been a goal of mine for many years, finally applied for the amateur plates.
man. So just to double check, there was no additional charge for that, was there?
No, in fact, there didn't seem to be for that. You know, it was enough to re-register the truck. I had to get it inspected this week, but no, there's no additional charge for that.
All right, yeah. Well, cool beans, man. I'm glad to hear that that's happening. It's kind of in the back of my mind too, something I want to do, but maybe it's not that an urgent thing at this point for me. But yeah, I'm glad to hear it. And I hope you did enjoy this spring break and your time off. I was working, and I think like Ray, I was actually working pretty late today. But at a certain point today, I realized I would wrap up in time, so I went ahead and rogered up to run the net. So, yeah, man. Anyways, have a good rest of your spring break week, and thank you for checking in, Mike. Next on the list, we had Ken, KI6HQT with no traffic. Thank you for checking in, Ken. And after Ken, we had Marshall, KI5YIA, also with no traffic. Thank you, Marshall, for checking in. And let me go ahead and call for a second round of short-time check-ins at this point. Second round of short-time check-ins. Come with your call sign and your name now.
This is Kilo India 5, Kilo Sierra Romeo, Steve and Bastrop, no traffic.
This is Whiskey 5, Sierra Delta, Rick, Dripping Springs, no traffic.
All right. Well, thanks for that second round. I have Steve, KI5KSR, with no traffic. Thank you, Steve. I also have Rick, W5SD, with no traffic. Hey, Rick, real quick, is that a new call sign, a vanity call sign that you just picked up recently?
No, I've had it for several years now. Picked it up, trying to think maybe 2018. So, that's technical.
All right. Well, yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought I'd ask. Again, vanity call sign is another thing that's been in the back of my mind, but it's not a priority for me right now. But cool beans. Hey, also, that brings us to the end of short-time check-ins, and I want to thank everybody who's checked in so far. Let me go ahead and do another station identification. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N50AK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and if you're joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and want to participate, set your tone to 114.8 hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4 hertz. My name is Aaron, AI5HP, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. We still haven't gotten a regular check-ins yet. The night and the net are still young. But at this time, we're going to review a question or two from the FCC's current general exam. If you have a technician license, this will give you a sample of what the test is about. If you've already passed your general exam, it's always a good thing to review the material. And tonight, we're going to pass it over to Steve, KI5UKF, for tonight's question. Steve, take it away.
Thank you, Net Control, and thanks for running the net. Good evening, Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club members and guests and other listeners. We're going to start out. We're going to have two questions tonight that are from the general exam, so especially if you're a technician looking to take your general exam, or if you're just listening and looking to take both of them at the same time, you might want to listen close. So we're going to start with technicians only on the first question. So I'm going to read the first question. I'll read the four possible answers, and then please give your name and your call sign. And feel free just to go one after the other. You don't have to wait or give it back to Net Control or to myself. So this is the first question, and technicians only first, please. Why should coax connectors exposed to the weather be sealed against water intrusion? A, to prevent an increase in feed line loss, B, to prevent interference to telephones, C, to keep the jacket from becoming loose, or D, all of these choices are correct. Now I'll hand it over to technicians only, please. Technicians only, please give your name and call sign. Well, all right then. Looks like we have no technicians looking to try and score on the general tonight, so let's go ahead and open it up to all licensees.
F5PZN with A.
BBS with Charlie.
Kilowatt 5, Bravo Zulu India, Alpha. Cat 5 OBD, Alpha.
All right, last call for any answers from any licensee to question number 1. Last call. All right, you Alphas have it. I know Ernesto got in there. I can't remember who else got on that list, but the Alphas have it. The coax connectors exposed to weather should be sealed against water intrusion to prevent an increase in feed line loss. Question number 2, and we'll start out with just technicians only to give a shot at this one. Second question, what electrical difference exists between the smaller RG58 and larger RG8 coax cables? And folks, this is really an easy one. So, first possible answer, Alpha. There is no significant difference between the two types. B, RG58 cable has less loss at a given frequency. C, RG8 cable has less loss at a given frequency. Or D, RG58 cable can handle higher power levels. So turn it over to technicians only. Anybody want to take a shot at question number 2? All right, I think we've already shown we have no technicians only, so let's move it over to all licensees. Question number 2.
Bravo. K5BZI, I'm going to go with Charlie.
WN.
5PZN with Charlie too.
BBS for Bravo.
I'm going to punish myself. I probably should have read the question and answers twice. The answer is Charlie, but guys, B and C were just the reverse of each other. They each said that one had less loss at a given frequency. And I know all you gearheads know the difference between RG8 and RG58, but the C was the RG8 cable has less loss at a given frequency. B was RG58 cable has less loss at a given frequency. And Net Control, that's going to do it for our general exam questions tonight. Back to you, KI5, UKF.
All right, thank you, Steve. Let me do another station identification for everybody. We're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N508K. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and you want to participate, set your tone to 114.8 Hertz. Now, if you're using the University Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Aaron, Alpha India 5 Hotel Papa, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. Now, I'm going to pass the mic over to Ray, K5BZI, and his XYL Alley for tonight's news.
This
is radio station K5BZI located in South Austin, Texas, and for the news tonight, I present Allie. Take it away, hon.
ARRL International DX Contest a success. Last weekend, March 4 and 5, was the film segment of the ARRL International DX Contest. Although the deadline to submit logs is 2359Z on March 12th, preliminary numbers already show an increase in submissions compared to the same period last year. Conditions were favorable for much of the world, and many operators took to social media to talk about their wins. Italian ham Chris Diamos, IX1CKN, wrote in to express his gratitude for the contest, saying, "I haven't come back to the U.S. since 2001, but I count last Sunday afternoon as a trip to the States, from east to west." Diamos made 80 contacts in the U.S. From his parked car in Ossane, Italy, Diamos operated during the contest using QRP power from an XEU G90 transceiver and an Outback 1899 HF antenna. He enjoyed making a lot of contacts on 10 and 15 meters, which are opening due to solar cycle 25. He made a video with some of his QSOs and posted it to YouTube. Click on the screenshot above or click on this video. I'll make sure that Ray gets this video to you guys in some form. 2023 Ulrich L. Road Award Call for Papers. The Software Defined Radio Academy, SDRA, has issued a call for papers for the 2023 Ulrich Road Award. This award, named after Dr. Ulrich L. Road, N1UL, was created in 2002 and is presented to those who have completed innovative research in the field of software-defined radio, SDR. It's a paper award that requires a written submission by applicants. There are first, second, and third place winners who are awarded a 500, 300, and 100, I think it's the local currency, respectively. All submitted papers are eligible for the award. The deadline for the abstract submission is April 30, 2023, and the acceptance notification date is May 15, 2023. The award committee for 2023 includes Dr. Michael Hartier, BK5HH, HS Bremen, Dr. Michael Niemetz, DG2RAM, OTH Regensburg, Dr. Herva Boglin, University of Thiers, European GNU Radio Days, Dr. John Michel Friet, FEMTOST, University Pensacon, European GNU Radio Days. Dr. Road is an avid amateur radio operator, holding several licenses in the U.S. and Germany. He has been licensed since 1956 and is mostly involved in technology and systems. In 2015, he won first place in the ARRL DX contest in the Northern New Jersey section. He also operates N1UL MM on his yacht, the Dragonfly, and is trustee of the Marco Island Radio Club, K5MI. Road holds 50 patents, and in December 2016, he was invited to deliver the Sir J.C. Bose Memorial Lecture on Next Generation Networks, Software-Defined Radio, Emerging Trends at the IEEE meeting in Hyderabad, Telangana, India, in the 4th edition of Communications Receivers, Principles in Design. Road and his co-authors set SDR at the core of modern communication system design. For additional information, Ray will make sure he sends you the correct website.
And that's all for the news tonight. Back to net, K5BZI.
Thank you, Allie, and thank you, Ray, for facilitating Allie so that we could hear the news. All right, Okies. It is time for Fox Hunt News and the club announcements. So let's pass the mic to our club president, Rusty, so he's at 5. WZ5BBS for all those updates. Let's dig.
Hey, Aaron. Thanks for running the net, man. Howdy, gang. So this weekend we had a really fun fox hunt. We were actually hunting down some rogue signals that were on the 147320, and it kind of proved that we have a really amazing fox hunt team. I was really proud of us. We have to say congratulations to Jeffrey, mostly Ashley, but KI5MVF. Technically, he found it first. We all were kind of there at the same time, but we're going to give him credit for it because he was also the one that reported it to us. So congrats, Jeffrey, for making that happen. You get the $25 Specs gift card for helping us make that happen. I would also like to thank Ernesto, KI5PZN, Sky, N5LX, Paul, KA5FZU, John, N5CFB, and Kyle, KA5D, for helping us track this down. If y'all want to see what it takes to make this happen, go look under the Fox Hunt Maps channel, and you'll see the Rogue Signal Fox Hunt, and you can go back and read and see all of our bearings and watch us, figure out where it was. We tracked the signal down to Mount Larson, and it's up there. That's where the Fox 7 TV tower is, and there's also some other stuff up there. But we tracked it down to that, and we're pretty sure that's where it was. The Austin Amateur Radio Club guys could not have been more helpful. As soon as we figured out where it was coming from, Paul, KA5FZU, gave me Roy's cell phone number, and I called Roy and chatted with Roy. He gave me contacts, as well as John, N5CFB, of who to contact over at the fire department and the City of Austin wireless department, which takes care of all their radio stuff. I was going to call them today, but I ran out of time, so I will call them tomorrow and see if we have any updates as far as officially what they say. But they were pretty impressed that we were able to tell them exactly where it was coming from and what we thought was going on. It was just a rebroadcast of the AFD locution system, which gives the AFD boxes and that kind of stuff. So unlike a fox hunt that goes off like every 30 seconds, and it's kind of a game, we had to wait for that to go off and kind of hang out in place. So I'd be interested. I know we have people that are listening. So Sky and Jeffrey and Ernesto, I'd love to hear some information from y'all. I had a blast. I was with Ernesto. We went to the mall and hung out in the parking lot there. We were kind of the far south, and Sky met up with us, and then he went up north. Jeffrey went up north at 360 and was pointing down south. Paul went over to Port Lavaca, or whatever, Cuernavaca, some kind of vaca, and was pointing over there. Kyle gave us a bearing from his house off of his beam, so we had kind of that going, and then John, N5CFB, he was driving around. He found a whole other host of problems. So with everybody, I think it took us about 2.5 hours to run it down. And like I said, I was super impressed. I was super proud of everybody for making it happen. We thought we were going to be finding some residents, with an all-star node or something, but we tracked it down to a tower. So I don't have any resolutions yet. I don't know if it's off or what the plan is, but I will keep you all updated in the Rogue Fox Hunt channel over there. So if y'all want to play along or see what's happening, that's where it'll be. And Aaron, you need to ask those guys whenever they check in on the net to share their stories of the fox hunt, because it was a lot of fun for sure. So that's all we got for the fox hunt. Once again, congrats Jeffrey and Ashley for making that happen, and congrats on the $25 gift card. We'll get that to you as soon as possible. Let's move over to the Trivia Net announcements. We had some fun stuff going on the Trivia Net last Friday. For For those of you who are new and have never played, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club has a trivia net right here every Friday at 9 p.m. We had 33 players last week. We had 2 from Canada. So the trivia net is officially international now. It was a whole lot of fun. They showed up and started hanging out and playing with us, and I kind of coaxed them in to chatting with us. They were making dinner, and they got in on the last round, which was Pink Floyd round. So they got in finally on that. But we want to say congratulations to Holly, W5LUL. She came in first place. Steve, KG5LAA, coming in second. And Philip, AC5G, coming in third. The elimination round was pretty tricky. Everybody made it to round 2. And then that took out, 5 people. So congrats to Bill, W5ITZ, Jason, KB5MPJ, Dave, KI5STT, Thomas, KI5OMW, and Alex, KD5AJZ. They made it all the way to level 2 in the elimination round, and then we kicked them out. As far as official player rankings, Alan, KB5VKP, is in the number 1 spot. Karin, KI5ZPA, in the number 2 spot. And Jarrett, N5AFC, is in the number 3 spot. And if you're new and you don't know what, anybody can play. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer. We got the bingo starts up at 8:30, so you have something to do while you're hanging out waiting for the net to begin. To check out player rankings, stats, net logs, any information you want to know about the Friday Night Trivia Net, head over to n5oak.org and click on the Trivia Net tab. Everything is right there for you. Ooh, I just heard some fun thunder. Official club business, we have 3 new members since last week. We have Alexander, KI5ZYP. We have Michael, KC0TA, and Alex, KJ5AAJ. So if you see them on the Discord or hear them in the repeater, say hi, make them feel at home. Just a heads up, we now have N5OAK gear. We got merch now that you can buy. You can go to n5oak.org and just click on the N5OAK gear tab. We've got t-shirts and coffee mugs and, you name it, hoodies, water bottles, stainless steel mugs, all the kinds of fun things that you would expect. I got 2 logos on there now, the old one and the new one. So if you all are looking for t-shirts or anything fun with any kind of club merch, you can go buy that online now on the website. Our next club meeting is Saturday, April the 22nd at the Austin branch of the Austin Public Library. You can check the website or the meeting channel on Discord for all the details. George, K5TR, has officially signed up to be our guest speaker. He is going to be talking about contesting and how to grow a proper antenna farm. He's also, I think, going to bring some 80-meter foxes for those that are interested in that. So George is going to bring out all kinds of goodies. We also have our raffle where we give away all that kinds of stuff. I just posted that in the channel. If you have projects or things that you're not going to use, radios that you don't want, anything that you would like to give to some deserving new ham or somebody else in the club, you just want to see it go to a good home, bring it into the raffle table at the next meeting. And after our club meeting, we will have our first ever testing session. And thanks to Philip, AC5G, for spearheading all of this. It's been a journey, to say the least. So if you need an upgrade, or if it's time to get your buddy licensed, whatever it is, after the club meeting on April 22nd, we will have our first ever N5OAK test session. You can go sign up online, go to the website, n5oak.org, and click on Get Licensed. It's all electronic, so go sign up online. That will put you in the system and reserve you a spot. Make sure you pay, because otherwise we can't guarantee that you will have a spot. But yeah, go to the Get Licensed tab on the website and come hang out with us. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And last but not least, I'll hurry up. We got the Texas A&M Net every Monday at 8 p.m. now on the repeater system. So if we got any Aggies out here, come hang out with Texas A&M Radio Club. They're a good bunch of guys. The easiest way to stay up to date is to subscribe to the official club calendar, and you can do that on the website, n5oak.org. Just click on the calendar tab to make that happen. I've also got photos of the fox hunt and stuff that we went on, so I've got some new photos as well if y'all want to go check that out. Go to the website, n5oak.org. That's all I got. Thanks for running the net, Aaron, and we'll send it back to you. AI5HP, WZ5BBS. Back to net control.
All right, Rusty. Thank you for all those club announcements and also for all that you do for the club. Let's go ahead and pause for station identification. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. Now, if you're joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using a Universal Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Aaron, AI5HP, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. Well, look at that. Just in time for the storms to roll into town, it's time for regular check-ins. No membership is required, and any licensed operator is welcome to check in. New hams are especially encouraged to check in. So if you're a new ham, we'd love to hear from you. If you previously checked in tonight, but you want to check in again, go ahead. Just specify your recheck, so that way I can log things appropriately. So now it's time for round one of our general check-ins. You ready to check in? Come now with your call sign and your name.
Yes. India 5, Zulu November.
This is Kilo 5, Romeo Fox Tango, handle is Mike.
This is Kilo India 5, Yankee Juliet Oscar, Scott from Liberty Hill.
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform Kilo Foxtrot, Steve from Dripping Springs.
This is W5BBM, Chris from Buda.
KI5, W Blake Spicewood.
All right, so there was a double on the very first check-in. I did copy KI5PZN, Ernesto, but there was somebody else that was doubling with Ernesto. So if you were that person, can you please come again with your call sign now?
This is Kilo Alpha 5, Delta.
Okay, I just copied Kilowatt 5 Delta. I didn't copy the name. We'll come back around to you. I at least have that down, so we can. And also, Blake, or first, Chris from Buda. I did not capture your full call sign. I captured W5. Can you come back, Chris from Buda, with your call sign?
Whiskey 5, Bravo, Bravo Mike, W5BBM.
Thank you, W5BBM. And Blake, can you come again with your call sign? I missed your call sign.
Blake, KI5ZTW Spicewood.
All right, Blake, KI5ZTW from Spicewood. Thank you. All right, so Thank you, everybody. So just a quick run through. I've got Ernesto, Mike, Scott, Steve, Chris, Blake, and then it was a K5B that I didn't capture, but we'll come back around to you. Let's start with Ernesto, KI5PZN. Ernesto, how you doing?
KI5PZN. Hey, Aaron, thanks for running the net tonight. And I think you missed Kyle, KA5D. I think he was trying to check in earlier. KA5D, that's Kyle. Let's see. Had a, like Rusty was saying earlier, had a really fun weekend with the fox hunt. Well, it wasn't fox, but we were looking for the rogue signal. That was interesting, the way we were doing it, because we're used to going, you know, on your own, trying to find it and not talking to people, just, you know, do your own thing. But this one was really interesting because, you know, people were going around, and let me reset. And we were coordinating and getting closer, and I guess in a kind of in the circle way into it. So that was pretty neat. It was definitely a different experience, and added a little bit more, another layer of fun to the fox hunt. So that was a lot of fun. Had a great time. And for those of you listening out there, I am going to be putting my fox this weekend, tomorrow, Friday, late afternoon until Sunday. So if you want to play fox hunt, just keep an eye on Discord, 'cause I'm going to be hiding the fox this weekend. Maybe later we said. And I got into the CWNet tonight and talked to Pat, W5, WTH. That was fun too. I'm still a beginner, so he's got a lot of patience for to deal with me. But yeah, I still jump there. Okay, I still jump over there and try to do my best. So it's a lot of fun. I'm looking at it more as a game. So something else to do for those of you guys looking, if you're bored, looking for something to do. CW is a lot of fun. And the last thing I was going to mention, if you guys are going to be around on Saturday night and you're looking for something to listen to, I'm going to be running the Elmer's Net at 7 p.m. on the 146.940 repeater at 7 p.m., the Elmer's Net. I'll be running that one. And on Sunday night, the Weekend Wind Down Net at 7:30. Back to Net Control. This is KI5PZN.
All right, thanks, Ernesto. So, yeah, man. Hey, by the way, I got to get your in-bed halfway back to you. I've got it bagged up and ready to hand to you. So if your Fox delivery brings you down near Buda, just let me know. But, yeah, I'll see what I can do. As a matter of fact, I was thinking I might try to get it to you this weekend, but I'm planning on getting my shingles shot tomorrow, since I can't do much anyways, hobbling around on one foot because of my torn Achilles. So I figured now and it's time for the second shot. So I'll be taking care of that. So in actuality, I'll just be wiped out probably after I get that shot tomorrow. But yeah, back to you, Ernesto, in case you have any comment on any of that.
Yeah, nice try trying to get to me to say where I was going to hide the fox. So, yeah, no, man, I've been known for keeping a stone cold face when I'm hiding my fox. So, nice try, my friend. Just kidding. KI5PZN. Back to net.
All right, man. I tried, everybody. I tried, but if y'all want to try to pry that information out of Ernesto, go ahead and come now with your call sign if you want to speak to him. All right, well, nothing hurt. Ernesto, thank you for checking in. And thanks for putting out that fox this weekend. I'll be vicariously watching the shenanigans that ensue. And you take care, man.
Hi, man. Thanks again for running the net. And don't forget, I'll be running the Elmer's net on Saturday night at 7 and the Weekend Wind Down net for those guys looking for nets over the weekend. This is KFI-PZM. Back to net control.
Alrighty. Next on our list, we've got Mike, K5 RFT. Mike, how you doing? What's going on?
Yes, thank you. This is Kilo 5 RFT. Handle is Mike. We're in Lost Creek, and as I mentioned, I talked to Rusty a couple days ago. I've in the process of getting my station back up on the air after about a 30-year hiatus of raising kids and traveling around the country. But I was interested in contacting, I believe it was Ray, K5BZI, who mentioned something about restoring old military gear.
Yeah, that was Ray. Yeah, I think he brought it out to Field Day a couple of times.
All right, well, I'll listen around for him, and next time I hear him, I'll be contacting him. I've got a old Hallicrafter shortwave receiver that came out of a World War II submarine that my grandmother used, and I now have it, and looking to possibly get that thing restored.
All right, man. Well, that sounds good. I'm sure he'll want to speak with you. As a matter of fact, if you are ready, I will go ahead and open it up for anybody that wants to speak with you. Folks, we've got Mike here, K5RFT. If you want to say hi to him or ask him about his radio, come with your call sign now.
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, hey Mike, I heard you there. I would absolutely be interested in helping you out, get that receiver going again. I don't know if you're on Discord or if you're interested in being on Discord. If so, you can send me a message directly. Otherwise, my email is good on QRZ. Back to you.
Okay, Ray, I will. I'm looking to go sign up on Discord at Rusty's invitation too, and probably will get my membership in the club active there. And when we have a chance to get together, I also have a small treasure trove of vacuum tubes that if we get that radio up and working, that will be the end of application I have for tubes. So for a little help, you might come out with several boxes of tubes still in their manufacturer's cardboard containers.
Well, that sounds like a deal to me. Just getting to work on the old rig would be enough, but an added bonus is always a plus. So absolutely, man. Anytime, just reach out and we'll get together and we'll see if we can get that thing back on the air. Any idea what condition it's in? I mean, you said she used to use it to listen to. Is it not functional at all at this point?
Well, she turned it over to me in about 1977 because she passed away in 1980. And so she was using it just as her AM radio. And I used to go down to the 7-Eleven tube checker and get tube spar whenever I was a kid. And but that was it. Just she stopped listening to it. It stopped playing out. I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with it, other than it may need tubes and some replacement parts.
Yeah, Roger. Probably needs a couple tubes and probably a few caps replaced. So no biggie there. That sounds good. Sounds like you've got a good specimen at least. So that's great. We'll get that thing on the air. No sweat. So all right, man. Well, I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. K5BZI. Let you have it back.
Thank you a lot, sir. This is Kilo 5 Radio Free Texas.
All right, Mike. Let me go ahead and put it out there one more time. If anybody wants to say hi to Mike, come with your call sign now. All right, nothing heard. Mike, welcome back to the hobby. go ahead and accept Rusty's invitation to Discord so that you can get in on all the online shenanigans that are there and be able to directly send messages to Ray and everybody else. And thank you for checking in tonight. I will move on now to Scott, KI5YJO. Scott, how are you doing this evening?
KI5YJO, doing fine, just sitting up here in Williamson County watching the rain fade away. Didn't get near as much as I wished I'd have gotten, but, I'll take what I can get. A quick note to Ernesto, hiding the fox sort of sounds like a euphemism. If anybody is not doing fox hunting this weekend, on Saturday, there's the Burn It Air Show. There'll be some military vehicles and possibly some military radios out there. I just got an RT-524 fixed and picked it up last night, and that I won't have it running, but I could probably drag it out there to the air show if anybody wants to come out and look at it.
Hey man, that sounds like something that folks would be interested in. What else you got going on?
That's about it. Just came home from dinner and turned the radio on and picked up the net. Thought I'd join in a little bit, but I don't really have that much to say. KI5YJO, back to net.
All right, Scott. Well, hey, let me open it up to anybody else if maybe they want to say something to you. Folks, Scott is here, KI5YJO. If you want to say hi to him, come now with your call sign and name. All right, nothing heard. Scott, appreciate you checking in tonight. And, thank you, man. Let me move on to Steve, KI5UKF. Steve, thank you for doing those general questions today. And what you got going on, man?
KI5UKF. Not a lot. I did a little bit of, did a Mars mod to my 817 this week. Not successful. So anyway, but it's still, the 817 came, it was, I got it, cheap on eBay, which I've heard there's a few stories about that, and it's banded for Japan or whatever country it came from, so it doesn't have all of the U.S. bands on it. It's got all the HF that I use on it, but for instance, it does not have 147 megahertz, so I can't use it for our nets. But I'll keep trying, or I'll sell it. One of the two. It's functioning. Other than that, still kind of awaiting. My shack would be in a second floor, little tiny room. So I'm still kind of figuring out the way to run a wire through a second floor wall. So still working on that project in my head anyway. Just hadn't had the guts to pull out the half-inch drill bit and the 10-inch long drill and take it into the side of my limestone yet. But my wife's gone for another week, so now is definitely a good time to do that. So maybe I can cover it up and she won't notice. Other than that, kind of focusing on the garden some. Again, we're going to have a little cool snap here. Of course, I planted every freaking thing I had last weekend, so we'll see how all the young tomato plants handle 38-degree temperatures coming up. Other than that, back to you, Net, KI5UKF.
Man, like you said, it's now or never now with if you're going to be drilling holes. But that kind of pressure just makes me more prone to screw things up, though. So, that's not anything I'd be trying. But that's because I'm a big klutz. And if you have any doubt about that, let me tell you about how I ripped my Achilles. But that's for another time. Folks, we've got Steve here, KI5UKF. If y'all want to say hey to him, come with your call sign now.
KC3, NAG, Randy.
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, Steve. If I was close by, I'd be over there and I'd drill that hole through there in a heartbeat. I got no problems there. And maybe a little piece of advice. If the coax is, paint the coax white where it's outside, so it kind of blends in with the limestone. Your wife will never know.
That sounds like great advice. Yeah, I mean, a little white paint, a little white limestone should be completely invisible. Actually, it's on the side of the house. It's really not traffic much. It won't be bad. The house is kind of funky the way that the second floor works, and I just haven't figured out whether I want to go through a wall or whether I want to take it up through a soffit vent and into the attic and then down. So just kind of indecision. But thanks for the advice. Over.
Yeah, okay. Whatever works, man. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Randy. Anybody else want to come say hi to Steve? Come with your call sign now.
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Hey, I just wanted to share an experience I recently had. Micah, Alpha Golf 5 Sierra Juliet, just did just that. He ran a 2-story interior wall drop for his shack, and he found a space above his shack on the second floor where there was a closet, and he just went into that closet and right at the floor cut himself a little square hole out of the wall so he could reach the top plate there, and it was really easy, actually. We fished it through the top hole in the attic and found it in the wall real easy with that little square hole he made, and was able to get in there with a flex bit and drill another hole down into the ground floor, and it was a piece of cake. So if you're considering that and maybe shying away from it for feeling it might be too difficult, man, it was a lot easier than I expected it to be. Back to you, K5BZI.
K5UKF. Thanks, Ray. Yeah, I need to get it done because we're in March now, and this is going to be some attic work if I go up that route and go into the attic, and we know what happens in attics here after about June or so. But I'll look at that. I don't have a closet accessible, but I've got some pretty good attic space up there. Just haven't quite figured out whether I want to go through the wall or again through the attic. But thanks for that idea. Appreciate it. K5UKF.
Okay, thanks, Ray. Anybody else want to say hey to Steve? Come with your call sign now. All right, nothing heard. Thank you, Steve, for checking in, and good luck with that. I hope it all works out one way or another, and make sure you let us know what you decide and how it works out for you. Let me go ahead and do a station identification. You are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N50AK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. My name is Aaron, AI5HP, and I'm the net controller for tonight's net. Next up on the list, we've got Chris from Buda, W5BBM. Chris, what's going on, man?
Well, good evening, and I appreciate you running the net. I've been kind of away from the club for the past couple of years with family and job and everything else, and I finally sat myself down at the beginning of this year and said I'm going to get my extras. So I studied hard and was able to get it at the Houston Ham Fest a couple weekends ago. So I got to upgrade to extra, so that was good. And while I was down there, I picked up a ICOM ID31 and a Zoom hotspot. I figured I got a pretty good deal for a handheld and hotspot for about $100. And so I've been playing with that here recently and figuring out D-Star. Hadn't really ever delved off into that. So that's kind of what I've been doing lately. Finally got a radio back in my truck. I put an FTM 300 in it here recently, and I drive back and forth between Buda and Smithville pretty regular. So I'm going to probably start transmitting again now that I think I've got everything working right. That's what I've been up to. It's good to get back in on the Thursday Night Net and see a bunch of new faces and hear a bunch of new voices. Appreciate it.
All right, Chris. Well, hey, you know what? We appreciate you checking in and getting back in and joining us. So thank you as well, and congratulations on your extra license. I've got a hotspot somewhere. My son, I think, got it all set up, but we haven't actually configured it or whatever. So I need to do that, but it's on my list of things that I got to take care of. But the first thing on my list is getting my shingles vaccine tomorrow. Everybody, we've got Chris, W5BBM here. If you want to say hi to him, come with your call sign now.
Cat 5, UKF.
Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Chris, I did a technician in general kind of last year about this time, back to back. I was just kind of curious on your thoughts of like how much of a exponential up curve is expert. Anyway, extra. Sorry. So just your thoughts and opinions on how much harder it was. Over.
You know, I had it about 3 years between my general and extra, and it wasn't that much harder. There's a few more technical things, but it spurred my interest in a lot of other stuff, so I've kind of delved off into many new rabbit holes here recently, more on understanding how the electronics themselves work, not so much as just playing with the RF. So, but that side of it took a little more studying, but it definitely, you know, it kind of opened my mind to a few things I didn't know about and helped me learn a few other things and some of the stuff that I'm doing within my career right now. So I will say that depending on how you study or what study program you go with, I know there's ham study and there's ham radio prep and a bunch of several of the free apps and that stuff. I did several different things, and it's interesting they all word the questions. It's the same answers, but they are worded just a little bit different in some of the questions and answers. But I noticed the ham study one is going to be verbatim for what the online testing will be if they're using whichever one that is. But that's where that online test is coming from. So if you want to see the answers really verbatim, they're coming off a ham study, from my understanding. At least that's the way the test was that I took down in Houston. But other than that, it was enjoyable, and I got to that point of testing it about 85% on practice tests, and then when I sat for the test, I thought I had missed quite a few and ended up doing the best I had done out of any of the practice tests. So it was a fun experience. And then I allowed myself to buy a new radio at that point. So now I'm in the looking into getting to the new HF rig. I just haven't decided what road I want to go down quite yet.
Well, Chris, thanks for that. Yeah, that was sort of my experience too, studying for general, is that I think, and maybe somebody will know definitively, but the questions that you had on the practice test, even the place where the answer was the same. For instance, if it was a C on the practice test, it was a C in the actual test. And actually, there were a couple of times where I kind of remembered the position of the answer over the answer itself, and I thought that was kind of interesting that it was that duplicative. But anyway, thanks for your input. I really appreciate it. Cat 5, UCAP.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't notice that they had actually. I made sure I studied, and I covered the letters, so I never looked at them. It committed the letter to being part of the question or the answer, because I didn't know how the test was going to be. But if they're doing that, it may make it even easier. But you're not learning much at that point, I think. But it was a good experience. I'm glad it's over, and now I officially have my extra, so that was kind of cool. All right, well, I'm going to send it back to Net. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Let me give it one more go to see if anybody else wants to say hi to Chris. Come with your call sign now. All right, nothing heard. Chris, thank you for checking in. Let's go now to Blake from Spicewood, KI5ZTW. Blake, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, thank you. I'm doing good. Just sitting out here, looking out the window, watching the storm roll in, lightning to the the east and north, rolling in out here in Spicewood.
Is it getting pretty nasty or just, you know?
Other than that, winding down on the on Thursday night. That's about it out here.
All right, I think you broke up a little bit there, and it must be weather related. So, folks, we've got Blake here. We're going to see if anybody wants to say hi to you, Blake. You folks who want to say hi to Blake, he's the way I understood it, there's some storms blowing through near him. Come with your call sign now.
BBS.
Hey, Rusty, go ahead.
Hey, Blake, man, welcome to the net. Good to hear you checking in. And, yeah, I'm up here at 183 in Anderson Mill, and it's just now starting to rain up here. But this isn't looking like what the weatherman was talking about earlier. So I don't know if this is just the first bit of fun or if this is all we're going to get. But there it is. Welcome to the club, Blake. Good to hear you on the net. WZ5BBS.
Thank you, Rusty. I appreciate it.
Does anybody else want to say hi to Blake? He's here. Come with your call sign now. All right, nothing heard. Blake, thank you for checking in, and thanks for that update on the storm blowing through. Let me go ahead and do one more station identification real quick before we go to Kyle. You are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N50AK. We're every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. My name is Aaron, AI5HP, and I'm the net controller for tonight's net. Next on the first round of general check-in is Kyle, KA5D. Kyle, you there?
Hey, good evening. This is Kyle, KA5D, checking in via HT, and I'm just kind of battening down the hatches while the front's coming in a little bit. I just wanted to say good job on everybody that was involved in the fox hunt. That was really cool the way everything was coordinated and found. So all that fun and practice is paying off. Over.
Yeah, it sounds like they really, I think like you said, all the fun and practice, and then just everybody coming together as a team and coordinating. I think that was really awesome to see, and I only saw it from what was going on in Discord, but I bet you it was even more cooler in person. Back to you, Kyle.
That's all I got. I'm planning on doing some Parks on the Air at Sam Houston National Forest on Saturday night. So if anybody's going to be on 40 meters somewhere in the 7,200 range, we'll be on and looking for y'all. So that's all I got for now. Back to net, KA5D.
All right, man. 40 meters code activation Saturday night. I just made notes. Maybe I'll try to deactivate. Folks, we've got Kyle KF5D here. If you want to say hi to him, come now with your call sign now.
BBS.
Go ahead, Rick.
Hey, Kyle, we are overdue for a KA5D Fox. Just saying. So when you get some time, it's totally your turn to go hide one, man. We need the KA5D Fox back.
Sir, hear you loud and clear, and we'll put that on the calendar soon enough.
Roger, man. Have a good weekend. WZ5BBS back to net control.
All right, thanks, Rusty. Anybody else want to say hey to Kyle, KA5D? Come with the call sign here. All right, nothing heard. Kyle? luck with your quota activation. Folks, that was the end of round 1 of general check-ins. So you know what that means. It's time for round 2. Now, I can't promise that I'll have the endurance to do too many rounds beyond round 2. So, make sure you get in while the getting's good. Let me do one more station identification, and then I'll take check-ins for round 2. We're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N5OAK. We're every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. Now, my name is Aaron, KI5HP, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. So, here we go. Round 2, y'all. General check-in. Let's hear it.
This is Whiskey Zulu 5, Bravo Bravo Sierra Rusty, Northwest Austin.
This is Kilo Echo 2 Alpha Whiskey Bravo Stroke Mobile.
Any more check-ins? Any more check-ins? I thought I heard a Randy and maybe a Scott that might want to be checking in. Now's the time, y'all. Alright, for round 2, I've got 2 check-ins. I've got WZ5 BBS and Kilo Echo 2 Alpha Whiskey Bravo. Rusty, let's go with you first. What's going on, Rusty?
Hey, Aaron. Just hanging out at the house and hoping we get more rain than this. It was pretty underwhelming. There's quite a bit of lightning, though, for those of y'all that are wondering. So that might be why we were short of check-ins, too. Everybody might have unplugged all their gear. But it has been a busy week for me. I have not been playing a whole lot of radio. I talked a little on the Slacker chat. Randy and I had a great conversation last night. I guess it was about 11. He threw his call sign out, and we chatted till, I think, almost 1, and had great conversations. So, you know, it's never too late to throw your call sign out on the repeater. Somebody might be listening. And if you get a hold of Randy, OKC3NAG, you're always in for some fun stories. So thanks, Randy, for making that happen. I set up the merch store so that we can buy fun stuff with our logos on it. And I'm still super excited about the fox hunt. That one was really cool to come up on a big tower and find it, much less than 2.5 hours. So I don't know why I'm surprised. Like, we're really good at finding foxes, but I just, for whatever reason, I think it's because this one's a real world fox. This wasn't, you know, like, nobody in the club knew where it was. We all had to find it. I think we also learned that we like to play on the teams, because this was kind of our first fox hunt where we were all together on the same team looking for it. Usually it's kind of every fox hunter is their own team. So it was fun to get everybody together and kind of figure out who's going where and who's going this and there. So yeah, it's making us kind of reevaluate and come up with some more fox games. So, you know, we can get even better at this. But looking forward to trivia tomorrow. And, you know, if anybody out there wants to go fox hunting, Ernesto is putting out a fox this weekend, so that means I'm shy a fox buddy. So if you want to drive around and find the fox, hit me up on Discord. And I've got all the gear and all the fun. So if y'all want to figure out how this is done, hit me up on Discord and let's go fox hunt over the weekend. WZ5BBS.
Well, you know, I was trying to coax Ernesto into getting the fox down in Buda here, so that way maybe somebody could pick me up, because I shouldn't be driving with my torn Achilles. But all right, whatever, man, Ernesto. So yeah, man, like like I said earlier too, it was really cool. I picked up on the teamwork that was going on, and I think that just brought a different. It sounds like it just brought a whole different dimension to the whole fox hunting thing, or it took it to the HNL kind of a whole nother level, right?
It really did. Like, everybody has, I think everybody knows how to fox hunt, and they all have their own techniques, and so it was fun to see how everybody goes fox hunting, and what we do, and the liberties that we take from one leap to the next. And it's just like, all right, well, it's got to be over here, and so no, it was fun getting to hang out with Sky. We all started out at Old Man Breakfast with the Austin Club up here at the Waterloo Ice House, and had breakfast and hung out, and then as soon as we were done with breakfast, we kind of put a game plan together, and off we went. And the most mind-numbing part of it was waiting, because it was a rebroadcast. Kyle was able to confirm that whatever was going off on, 195, 659, 965, something like that, whatever the official frequency was, that it was going off with that. So we could listen, we had a known good frequency that we could listen to, and then we could listen on the 147.320. I unlinked the repeater, so just to kind of limit the traffic that was on it, and we could talk on the 775, and we had the 775 and Discord and all kinds of communications between us. But yeah, man, the teamwork was a whole lot of fun, and it was very rewarding at the end of the day to know that we found it. And not only Jeffrey and Ashley were pulling up as Ernesto and I were pulling up. Technically, I had the antenna out first and confirmed that it was on the tower, but like I said, we got to give it to Jeffrey, because he was the one that brought it to our attention. So Jeffrey and Ashley and Ernesto and I found it practically at the same time, and we wrapped up and we left, and then about an hour later, Sky found it. He was looking around, and he wanted to figure it out by himself and see what, and so he came up to it as well. And then we talked to Paul, and we're like, all right, we know where it is. And he's like, all right, well, don't tell me, I want to find it. So out of all the different teams and coming together to help, we all independently verified that it was the tower. So I think we should. It just depends on how long it takes him to get it fixed. That's really all that we got to wait on. So luckily, it's not that big of a hassle.
Well, so one other thing. It sounds like, even like you said, folks from their QTH, without actually driving around, were able to assist and with y'all finding it, right? And that's probably something else to consider for future activities, right?
Yeah, Jeffrey started talking about this like in December. He was like, there's some weird signals, and I just figured, he was driving around drunk like he usually does. And then Anderson started mentioning that he heard it, and I'm like, all right, well, if Anderson heard it, then it's got to be real. But yeah, so it'll be interesting for those of you in South that have heard it. I know Bjorn heard it once we kind of made everybody aware of it. Keep your eyes and your ears peeled on the 147.320. See if you still hear any weird signals. They might have gotten it fixed, but I have yet to call. I'm going to call them tomorrow and see if they have any official word for us as to what it was, if it got turned off, or if they're still looking for it.
Well, all right, man. Well, hey, let me open the floor up to anybody that wants to talk to you. Folks, we got Rusty here, the Don Rickles of the club. You want to call in and say hi? Come with your pulse line now. Nothing heard, Rusty. I'll give you an opportunity to respond to my statement just now.
It's Don Rickles. Yeah, I like that. I will go with that all day long. So I will take that as a compliment. WZ5 VVS back to deck control.
All All right, Rusty, thank you for checking in. Next on the list, I'm sorry I missed your name, but I did catch your call sign, which is probably the second most important thing, because I do need to catch your name just because. I have KE2AWB, who is mobile. Are you out there? Let me catch your name again, too, and want to tell us what's going on.
Name here is Dalius, and I'm just visiting Austin for the first time for one day, and I'm from New Jersey.
Well, cool, man. So you're LinkedIn, is that how you're doing, over one of the nodes or something?
Just listening for you, and that's why I joined in.
Well, great, man. I bet you we've got some folks here that want to say hi to you as well. Let me go ahead and open it up to folks. If they want to come with a call sign, y'all can say hi. Come now with your call sign. All right, well, nothing hurt. Well, thank you for checking in. And, folks, that's the end of round 2. We were probably affected by the weather. So let me go ahead and give y'all one more opportunity to check in. Let me give one more station ID. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N50AK. We're every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. My name is Aaron, AI5HP, that's Alpha India 5 Hotel Papa, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. Let me call for a final round of check-ins. Final round of check-ins for tonight's net. Come with your call sign and name now.
This is Kilo 5 Mike Whiskey Alpha, recheck. Mike and Oak Hill.
This is Eddie 5P, Mark in Dripping Springs, no traffic.
This is KI5OBD, Scott and Kyle.
This is Kilo Echo 5, Sierra Sierra Oscar, no traffic.
This is KC3 NEG, Randy, Anderson Mill, coming in on the flagship, 320.
All right, man. Thank you. That for our final round, we've got Mike, the recheck K5MWF. Mike, what's going on?
Oh, I just wanted to say that I did go out and unplug the antennas, including the 2-meter when it went on a mobile mount, went in the house. So I would imagine everybody else is doing that. It started raining in Oak Hill and a lightning show and thunder in the distance, so I'm not gonna chance it. But anyway, I'm still here.
All right, man. Well, since you were a short time earlier, we didn't open the floor up. Let me open the floor up now for anybody who wants to say hi to Mike and Oak Hill. K5MWA is here. Come with your call sign if you want to say hey to him. All right, nothing heard. Thanks, Mike, for that update. And everybody stay safe and keep your equipment safe. Next is NE5P Mark with no traffic. And then I've got Scott KI5OBD. Scott, what's going on?
Howdy, hey, it's Rick, right? And everybody on the net. Howdy. Yeah, our timing. My ex-wild just came in. No traffic for now. KI5OBD.
All right, Scott. Well, thanks for checking in. and I will log you as no traffic, but appreciate it nonetheless. Also with no traffic, we have KI5SSO, and our final check-in for the evening is Randy, KC3NAG. Randy, what's going on, man?
Wait a minute. How did it get to me so fast? There was like 10 people ahead of me. I've actually kind of been tied up, I'm like a NOAA, National Weather Service, weather spotter dude. So I kind of got like 2 radios going here, so kind of blanked some of you out. But heard old trusty Rusty in there, of course. And, yeah, I don't know. If there's anything you ever want to learn about quick miking, you want to talk to Rusty.
Is that a reflection of his activities here on the net this evening, or on other times on this repeater, or are you talking about the weather net that you're listening to also at the same time?
Yeah, okay, I see you can trying to spin this a little bit. Hey, I don't know, like, the storm has actually passed me, but there's tornado warning someplace, and it looks like the storm is like down in Dripping Springs, rolling through Austin, so you all south of the river are probably going to get a little fun here.
All right, well, that's good to know. I've heard some thunder in the distance, but, well, I've got the curtains pulled, so I can't tell if there's a light show going on, but I've got the radar up, and it looks like it's just hitting about, like you said, Dripping, and along that area, kind of east of there. So, yeah, man.
Well, so let me ask you, what have you been up to?
Well, Randy, I'll tell you what. I've been, we're kind of in the middle of a release cycle at work, and I think we just wrapped that up today, so we're just kind of going to sit on it until maybe lunchtime tomorrow and then push it out onto the public server for formal release. So wrapping that up was a big hassle this week and last week, but especially these last couple of days as those things go. And I've been hobbling around still. My torn Achilles is healing up. I went to the doctor earlier this week, and they gave me a thumbs up that things are improving. I've still got, I think, about a week and a half to go before I can take the boot off. I think Monday I take off the final spacer, and then I will be totally flat within that boot. Up until now, there were kind of like heel lifts inside that boot. And then after that, it'll be several weeks of rehab. I think I've got twice a week rehab to go to once I get the boot off. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to try to get that shingles shot, that second shingles shot. I'm probably going to go over to HEB tomorrow and get that one, and that's going to ruin my weekend, or at least the rest of Friday and probably all day Saturday from what I've heard from other folks who have had that second shingles shot. So like I said, I'm not going anywhere anyways with this torn Achilles, so we might as well get it done now. But thank you for asking. And let me throw it back to you one more time before I open it up.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you what kind of work you do, but I was more interested in what you were going to have for lunch tomorrow, but I'm going to skip past that. Speaking of Skippy and Scratchy and Itchy, I've had a lot of some complaints about my transmissions, and it's been an interesting story, and I now have my Slim Jim up 30, the top of it's 30 foot up in the air, and I've been like repeatering around, and it seems to be okay, and there wasn't any problem to begin with. However, interestingly enough today, I was on the wind system for a minute, like the 110, and someone's telling me like, hey, you sound like you're underwater and bubbly and scratchy. Well, the net control guy, who's in Phoenix, came back and he goes, hey, He goes, there's absolutely nothing wrong with your signal. We have problems with our Austin repeater tower that tends to, like, garble the signals up. He goes, you know, I can hear you perfectly fine. He says, somewhere's in the internet connection, and we have to go back in and reset every once in a while and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I'm still not sure if I've been chasing something that I have a problem or I don't.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can you also pull it up online and try to listen to yourself online and see what's going on? Or I think, like they said, maybe that's where the issue is, right, though?
Well, interestingly enough, that's what I was going to do is you can go to the Wind system and listen to their 20-second delay. However, it looks like maybe they've changed the rules. As I read down through, it said, but please don't transmit on this for testing. And I told this guy, you know, I told the net control guy, like, hey, this is what it says on your site. So, like, I didn't do it. I said, however, I could just get on your site and go like, oh, hey, you know, this is, you know, here's my sign, blah, 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 and, you know, and just listen to how crappy my signal is. So, actually, that statement on your thing scares people from doing something that you could actually do anyway. And had no response to that.
Oops. Well, maybe you gave them something to think about, right? So, I tell you what, let me go ahead and open the floor up to anybody that wants to come and say hi to Randy. Folks, we got Randy KC3NAG here. Y'all want to say hey to him? Come with your call sign now.
BBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
I wanted to make sure I left enough pause here since old Randy's talking about my quick key. I just want to let you know that everything I learned about quick keying came from Anderson, KI5NLK. We can totally talk about him, especially since he's not here. But, yes, I am awful at quick keying, so, you know, nobody pay attention to that. And as far as you and your problems, Randy, you got a ton of problems. And, yeah, I don't think we can help you with all of them. But we did help you with your scratchy. You were totally scratchy, and it was totally you. And you sound great tonight. So you fixed your itchy and your scratchy, and we're glad to hear you on the repeater. WZ5BBS.
Yeah, well, there's still some technical aspects I'd like to bring up with you sometime because I see the same similarities on the Oak where I'm hearing somebody and they're all itchy scratchy, but you're hearing them just fine and vice versa. And that's not me.
I'll be happy to chat with you anytime because there for a while I thought it was the repeater as well, but I'm just going to blame you for now and say it's your problem until you can prove otherwise. How about that?
Yeah, okay. Okay, just put it off. And Anderson does not quick mic either. Anyway, KC3NAG back to net before it gets out of control.
Well, is it out of control for me to say that Randy's got 99 problems, but an itch ain't one? Nor a scratch? All right. Well, that's a way to close the net, man, I tell you, from ready to ruin it. Unless somebody else wants to call in and say hi to Randy. If y'all, please don't let me leave it on that note. Call in and say hey to Randy now.
AG5SJ.
Go ahead.
Hey Randy, how's it going? I was asked to the audience was asked to not leave it on that note, so here I am, not leaving it on that note. How's it going? Hope everything's going well.
Yeah, actually it is. I did get my little Yagi out back when Club was looking for the mystery signal, and manage, and also my signal was being scratchy, so I wanted to hook my little VNA up and make sure like my antennas were good, and my VNA quit, so that set me back. So I kind of been like fighting this little weirdness for a couple weeks, but you know, I think really the weirdness really goes back to Rusty, and I really don't have a problem. And I bought a new VNA, and it works sweet. So if you need to borrow one, man, beg.
I do have a VNA, and I've used it all of twice, and I'm not convinced I did it correctly.
Hey, I love them. I got one like several years ago, and started encouraging any new techs, do not buy a 2-meter 440 SWR meter. Go buy a Nano VNA for like about the same price, and if you want to do HF, it'll do HF, and it'll tell you like 10 times more stuff than an SWR meter will anyway. So I've always been a big proponent of it, and I probably know 20 people that bought them after that.
I agree they're a good value, and they'll potentially teach you more than the SWR meter would as well, so I agree with that advice.
Yeah, totally. All right. KZ3NAG, I don't know, I guess I'll turn it back to Net.
All right, thank you. Hey, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap this net up tonight. Hopefully y'all took the precautions, and we may, you know, some of y'all may already be past that, but I can hear the rumbles outside getting closer to Buda. So now is probably a good time, at least for me, to wrap this up. So give me a hot second. I'd like to thank everybody who checked in, and thanks to the club officers who were online, and I know y'all are helping me stay on the rails, and thanks for everybody on Discord as well. So before we close the net, let me read you a list of the local nets so that you have the opportunity to ham it up throughout the week. And of course, I better read you this list that's the latest list that Ernesto posted, because I made a big to-do about it being updated, and Ernesto made sure that he updated it in time for this net. So let me go through that list of those weekly nets. On Mondays, we have the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club 6-Meter Monday, hosted by Rick, AI5A. Now, that's on 50.125 megahertz on the USB at 8 p.m. Also on Monday, we've got the Williamson County Amateur Radio Club Newham Net. That's at 8 p.m. on the 146.640 megahertz repeater. And on the N5OAK repeater system, we've got the Texas A&M University Amateur Radio Club Information and Training Net. I think in addition to the N5OAK repeater system, it's also linked to the University Link repeater system. And again, that's at 8 p.m. on Monday. Now on Tuesdays, we've got the Oak Hill Southside Simplex, hosted by Ray, K5BZI. Now that's on 146.555 megahertz FM at 8 p.m. And don't forget that. There's 3 5s, 146.555. That's on Tuesday. Now on Wednesday, we've got the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Net, hosted by Matthew KN4LRA. That is on the University Link repeater system, and we link up the N5OAK repeater system. That starts at 8 p.m. Wednesdays. Now on Thursdays, we've got the Oak Hill CW Net, hosted by Pat, W5WTH. That's at 7:30 p.m. at 3.532 megahertz. And that's right before this net. And this net being the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net, hosted by a different operator every week, and that's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. On Fridays, we've got the Oak Hill Friday Night Trivia Net, hosted by Rusty, WZ5BBS. That's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. and probably a couple more repeater systems, and that's at 9 p.m. International, y'all. On Saturdays, we have the Austin Amateur Radio Club at Elmernet, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW. That's on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. And as you heard earlier, Ernesto might be stepping in this week to run that. Also on Saturday, we have the 220 megahertz guys, original preservation net, hosted by Steve, KB9BSQ. That's on 224.100 megahertz. There you have a repeater at 9 p.m. or on Echolink by connecting to WM9WR. Now on Sundays, we've got the Austin Amateur 10-meter weekly net. That's on 28.410 megahertz at 3 p.m. Also on Sunday, we have the Travis County Aries weekly net. That's at 147.360 megahertz repeater, and that's at 7 p.m. Sunday at 7:30, we've got on the University Link repeater system and the N5 OAK repeater system, the weekend wind down net hosted by Ernesto KI5PZN. And we've got the Austin Amateur Radio Club swap net hosted by Jeff, N5MNW, also on Sunday night. That's at 9 p.m. on the 146.940 megahertz repeater. Now, there's also the DMR machines have nets pretty much every night of the week. So if you want to find out about those, go to n5oak.org to check the calendar and to find out all that good stuff. So that's a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to get involved and to just have fun with your radio. Thank you for joining us on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. This was a service of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. We are a nonprofit based in Austin, Texas. For more information, please visit n5oak.org, where you can read about the club, sign up for our email list, or donate to support the continued growth of amateur radio. You might also consider joining our Discord group, where we stay in touch when we're not on the radio. We'd also like to thank Kyle, KFIV, for linking the University Link repeater system for this net. I'm Aaron, AI5HP, and for my KTH here in Buda, just south of Austin, Texas, 73. And thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. We're closing down this net. The system is now returned to regular amateur use.
KA5D from WB5TXW, over. KF5CCN from WB5TXW, over.
KO4ZEO.
November 5, Juliet Romeo Yankee.
Good evening from Kilo Oscar 4, Zulu Echo Oscar, down here in Kyle visiting from North Carolina doing some storm cleanup.
Zulu Echo Oscar, didn't catch your prefix. November 5, Juliet Romeo Yankee. Patrick Hendricks out of Houston, Texas. I'm in Austin visiting my dad right now. Back to you.
Yeah, that prefix was Kilo Oscar 4, Zulu Echo Oscar. Yeah, we're down here doing some storm cleanup, and I was like, let me jump on Echo Link and see if I can find some repeaters around here. Back to you.
The Alaska Morning Net and the N5ZUA, he's a repeater owner down in Houston, but he owns the All-Star Link here in Houston. His name's Steve Agee, and that repeater is a 146.11 with a 103.5 offset. It's -6. And I'm hearing it, actually hearing it come up right now. I think it was actually down for a while because of the storm. It just now came up. But yeah, that is an All-Star Link. And back to you, over.
Do y'all have any Skywarn groups here or anything like that? I know back home we had one that I was a part of there till I started traveling chasing these storms.
I'm sorry, I had to turn my radio off and missed the first part of your transmission. Say again.
I was asking if y'all had any Skywarn groups or anything like that from the National Weather Service down here. I did it back home, and then I started chasing these storms, doing cleanup and this and that, and I was just trying to see if y'all had one down in this area. I'll be down here for, I think, another month and a half or so.
Well, while you're down here, you might want to venture on down to Houston, Texas, and check out the BVARC, Brazos Valley Amateur Club, and what's going on down there. Also, the Southeast Texas Amateur Club. There's a lot of storm watch training going on down there, and message handling, traffic handling. A lot of good nets going on down there in Houston. I'm from Houston. I'm just here to visit my dad right now, so I'm not so sure about what's going on here, even though I did go to the University of Texas, but that was years ago. I've been gainfully employed for 33 years, ever since I left Austin. But my dad's been here. I grew up here and went to school here. I did not get interested in ham radio until right after Hurricane Rita, and I was compelled to try to do something to help. So I joined the Texas Air Guard, and everybody had to get their license to be in the Air Guard. That was part of what we did. But with me being a teacher, I was quickly lured into becoming a trainer. So they wanted me to get my general real quick so I could could train everybody in Texas that was in the Air Guard and get everybody licensed. So that's what I was doing years ago. That was more than 16, 17 years ago when I was doing all that. Yeah, I live down in Houston, so I can tell you much more about Houston than I can about Austin. And back to you.
Yeah, I got kind of lured into it. I volunteered on the fire department back home in North Carolina, and one of our members come to me and he was like, somebody told me you were really interested in amateur radio and that, you know, you're always trying to get on the radio. And he was like, you ever thought about going and getting your license? I was like, man, I have no idea how to do this. And he was like, here, I'll show you. And I got contacts that do it. He said, and while you're at it, why don't you join my Skywarn group? And I was in that for about a year and a half, and then he called me up one day and he was like, hey man, you've been real involved in this. Why don't you become one of my line officers in our group? He said, we've grown to like 350 members and we've got a trademark from the NWS, and I really need to get some organization and help get some of this stuff took care of that I can't handle myself. And I was like, yeah, sure. And up until about 2 months ago, I was actually a deputy chief in our Skywarn group back home. So, back to you.
All right, well, that's pretty fine business. I know what to do when I'm down in Houston. Bad weather comes up, and I know where to report it, and I know where the frequencies are, and I know where the emergency weather nets are going to be. But as far as Austin goes, it's been so long since I've lived here, I couldn't tell you exactly where to go. They may have a weather net, but see, this is one of those bands that passes over fairly quickly. It's already far to the east and moving towards. It's sort of training, as you know, up towards the northeast, but it's gonna push offshore probably before sunrise. Back to you.
Yeah, I'm down here. I can feel the wind off of it in my camper now. I was looking at radar. It looks like it could be a little nasty later on tonight. It ain't gonna be nothing major.
Okay, where are you staying at?
We're staying down in Kyle, just south of Austin there.
Okay, I'm just up the road from you a piece. Way south Austin, it's called the Split, which is where 290 goes to Johnson City, and Highway 71 splits off to go to Llano. So there's a little neighborhood here called Convict Hill, Oak Hill area, and this is where my dad lives, and it's way to the south side of Austin. So yeah, I'm probably not more than about 14 or 15 miles from you as a crow flies, although the roads all wind around. It's probably about a 20 to 25 mile drive through the hill country. But yeah, I'm probably no more than 16 or 17 miles from you.
Yeah, just as you were speaking there, the National Weather Service just issued a severe thunderstorm warning there for that line of storms coming in. Should be coming right over top of you. Yeah, we actually have a demolition site that they haul in the debris from that ice storm right there by Convict Hill, Slaughter Lane over at the park, and then we haul it over to FM 973 over to the Austin water plant.
Yep, Slaughter Lane is no more than a couple miles south of me here. I'm a little closer to William Cannon. I'm probably half a mile to 3/4 of a mile south of William Cannon, and about 1.5 miles or so from no more than 2 miles from Slaughter Lane.
Yeah, we've been hauling mulch out of that place over there off of Slaughter over to Hornby wastewater plant over there off of 973, running that 290/71 split over by the airport and all that good. Ain't been too bad here lately.
Well, let me say 7-3, get off of here. Enjoy making your acquaintance. So I'll be clear on your final. Y'all be safe out there. You come on down to Houston and check me out with BVARC. It's the Brazos Valley Amateur Radio Club. I'm a member down there. My son's a member. So come on down to H-Town and check us out on the Stir Crazy Net every day at noon. We're on the 146.94. So y'all be good and be safe out there. And we'll catch you later. This is November 5, Juliet, Romeo Yankee, Patrick in the Matrix out of Houston, Texas. I'll be clear on your final. Y'all be good. 7-3.
Hey, Patrick, it was good talking to you, mister. Yeah, I'll have to get down there and check you out in Houston. Be safe on your ride back to the house there. 73s. Good night.
KI5ZTW listening.
KI5ZTW, do you hear WB5TXW? Over.
K5MWA hanging out.
K5MWA, do you hear WB5TXW? Over.
Come on back here. WB5TXT, did you say?
Whiskey Bravo 5 Tango X-Ray Whiskey. George, here. North Central Austin. Just curious how I'm sounding. I had to switch microphones. This is, got maybe 40-year-old MC60 drug out of my garage. Over.
Sounding good. You're full quieting into the repeater. It tends to, I think that mic tends toward to the mid and highs and not to the lows, but it sounds great.
Well, groovy. That's what I need to know. Thank you. I've got another M60 I was using on this radio. This is a TMV1 Alpha. You know, it's not a very complicated radio, but the other microphone stopped working. That one's a little bit more complicated. I think I need to change some batteries in it. But I may not bother because it has some up and down switches on it that I can easily fumble finger and wind up on another frequency I didn't know where I was. So if I sound good with this one, that's a start. Over.
Roger that. Well, yeah, you do sound pretty good there. So, you getting any weather up there? You're in North Central. I'm down in Southwest Austin.
Well, of course, that's the question for the night. I was listening to the Williamson County WeatherNet. They're pretty all complete. They do a good job. I don't know what they're doing in Austin these days. I got a sprinkle of rain. I heard a thunderstorm go to the south of me, and I think it went out into Bastrop County and God knows where. And then Williamson County had some stuff go out there. Right now here, the air is dead still. It's still up in the 70s, so we certainly haven't had a cold front come through yet. Over.
Roger that. I went out earlier and unplugged the antennas during our net, just so and went on this mobile antenna I'm using here in the house, just so because we had quite the light show and a little thunder and a teeny bit of rain down here so far. So we're gonna see how that goes. I was in the midst of trying to look up that repeater. I think it's 146.640. That one up in Georgetown that does the Williamson County, because there was somebody on here earlier asking about where there was some Skywarn info, and apparently they fired up today. I was just fixing to tune over there and see what I could find.
Comment.
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, thanks. KC3, NAG, Randy. I'm up near Anderson Mill. Yeah, the weather nets sound like 146, 640, because I'm like a NOAA, National Weather Service weather spotter guy. So I was listening to that while I was listening to the 320 net. But yeah, 146, 640.
Well, thank you there, Randy. I was just going to flip over there on the other side of this radio and listen to that. But I don't know if my antenna's going to get it because I'm on a mobile now. Of course, I don't hear any thunder anymore, so it may not be a big deal. So, WB5 WTX, you still out there?
I am here. Whiskey Bravo 5 Tango X-Ray Whiskey. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name of your call. It's late. Yeah, 146.64. They've been up there in Georgetown since, I guess, the 70s. So they do a good job with the WeatherNet stuff. I'm not too sure. They may have all gone Betty by because, I like to think the show is over, but we still have a cold front to blow through. Over.
Roger that. I finally wrote the call sign down right. It's WB5 Tango X-Ray Whiskey. This is Kilo 5 Mike Whiskey Alpha K5 MWA on this end. The name here is Mike.
Yeah, pleased to meet you, Mike. K5 MWA. MWA, that almost sounds like a music group. Over.
That would be Mike Whiskey Alpha, MWA, so it's easy for me to remember since it's my initials.
Oh, well, that's a big help. TXW is not my initials. This is my call sign I've had. Well, this is my second call sign. My first call sign was WN5TXW. Anyway, yes, I did see a bunch of lightning too. Well, it seemed like it went from the west of me. They tracked a storm from Marble Falls, and then I think it went to the west and down to the southeast, and maybe into Hayes and Bastrop County. And good riddance, but not much happening here. The air right now is dead still as 4 o'clock in the morning. Over.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty still down here. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm going to flip on echo links if I can get into their repeaters while we're talking there.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm going to get up, move around a little bit, but thank you for the check. I had another MC60 crap out on me, and I got a bunch of spare microphones, but they're all hidden away in the garage. And the lights don't work in the garage, et cetera, et cetera. But I found one, so that's a good thing. And maybe I like this microphone better if you're hearing me A-okay. I may not worry about the other one and maybe salvage the microphone off of it. Who knows? I haven't bought a new microphone. Well, I bought an MC90, I think, in 2015, but it's been a while. The rest of these are all relics from Hamfest. Over.
Roger, it's amazing how many relics we all end up with from Hamfest, and I hadn't even been at it all that long. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm going to see if I can get into that repeater here with the echo link.
All right, well, have at it. I'll give you a little bit of advice if you want it. When I was a younger ham, I got licensed first in 1976, my novice license. I'd go to these ham fests. Oh, free junk, man, free. Throw it in the back of the pickup. And then the last couple of years, I was getting rid of all that free junk I had in my garage that I never got around to doing anything with. So I parsed down my radios to what works here in the house, and I've still got junk in the garage. But I needed the garage for other things, too. So you got to be careful about your baser instincts. Anyway, Mike, nice to meet you. We'll see you around, I'm sure. WB5TXW. Take care.
sir. You take care, too. It's nice talking to you. And 7-3s.
Hey, Mike. Hey, George. KC3 NAG, Randy. The StormNet thing's like not on 640, so, but you can always check in. And George, like, I've never talked to you, but I've heard you many, many times. And you switching microphones, you sound exactly like you always did. So it's working, man. KC3 NAG.
Well, thank you. That's very encouraging considering this microphone is probably set in the garage for 15 years, although it's been in a cabinet, so maybe I might take some Deox and clean out the connectors and the switches. But what the heck, if it works, don't fix it, right? Over.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's working, and I know your voice, you know, I don't think I've ever talked to you, but I've known your voice for like years, so, hey, it sounds perfect to me. If it works, don't touch it, man.
Oh, yeah. I know so many guys that think, well, I can make this better. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. All right. Well, thank you for the report. And I'm going to get up and move around a little bit, maybe see what's on late night TV. I usually don't stay up this late, but here I am. I don't sleep well when I know there's storms coming through, and I know we still have a cold front coming through, so I guess I'm an insomniac tonight. Oh, well. I could have worse problems. 7-3 to you. And I'll just be listening here, WB5TXW.
Yeah, WB5TXW. I'm sure I mumbled that up. KC3NAG. Yeah, 7-3, man. Yeah, cold front coming through. The storms, like, you know, excite me, you know, and I don't get no sleep, and even if there is no storms, I don't get any sleep either. And I'm actually living with my 88-year-old mom, so I tend to stay up at night to make sure everything's okay there. So, hey, taking care of my mom, I got a ham radio, I'm watching the weather, got a refrigerator full of beer and food. Yeah, man. All right, cool. I'll catch you later. KC3NAG, 7-3.
K5MWA. Hey, Randy, did you say they shut down that weather net up there, or they still got it going on?
I'm quite sure it shut down. Like, it was probably shut down, I'm guessing, like about 9:45, because, like, the storm was gone by then for sure.
Roger that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the lightning map, and most of the bad-looking stuff is down southeast. Well, east of me and southeast of me, so I guess we're in the clear for now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know your location. You know, there's some high winds up in Gerald. You know, duh. But, yeah, and that was winding down. The stars were going to the south, and, I was chattering at the end. It's like, I need to get off here because you boys are starting to get that down there now. But, no. And I also had no radio going on, so I could, hear the net, but I didn't hear it close because I was turning the volume up and down. Yeah. Anyway, back to you, man.
Well, alrighty then. I guess I'm going to get out of here and go get some rest myself. I'm down in Oak Hill, by the way, is where I stay. So, yeah, it's out of our area now. So anyway, good talking to you, Randy. I'll catch you next time around, and I'll be on some. Maybe I'll be on tomorrow somewhere. You never know. KC3NAG, K5MWA, and I'll be clear.
All right, man. Catch you later. KC3NAG, working.
Oh, Randy, I'm hearing some static coming from you.
Oh, don't even start the rusty static thing.
I couldn't resist. Even though I do hear a little static, but, you know, hey, I hope we've had storms around, who knows.
Well, quite honestly, as I quick mic, I hear this, like, hum down in your background, man. So, you know, I can play this game all night. It's not a problem.
Maybe if I get closer to the mic, you won't hear anything.
Actually, the hum is getting worse, man.
Oh, I guess I'll just have to live with it. Oh, well. 7-3's Randy, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man. Catch you later. Watch out for that hum.